I guess Hound's not ready yet. We will use this time to oh, God damn it, Hound! I was gonna do some statistical analysis. Damn you. Anyway, this is not going to be quite so easy for Hounds this time, because Cruel Richard is a nice 200 MMR above where Roadhog was. So I don't doubt that he can win it, because he's playing really well today, but it'll definitely be tricky and an uphill battle for him. Anyway, speaking of Hound, he's here, he's in the top left, he's in yellow, and he's representing Platinum Heroes. It's the Zerg player, Hound. Got kind of lost there. Anyway, in the bottom right, representing the Art of Warfare, it is their caster himself, the Red Protoss, Cruel Richard. And yep, Jaro, I hope you're watching, Jaro, because he's going to show you how to do a wall. Are you looking at their decal? Yeah, the decal is very nice. It's nicely designed. I think Tor is like, I know it's massive, like it's multi-game clan, and I don't remember when it was, when it originated from. I think it was from like 2003. It was established. So yeah, it's a clan with a lot of history, even in StarCraft 2. Anyway, we're going to see a probe crossing the map. Not going to do anything that untoward because there's not going to be a forge going to go down, unless obviously he does gateway forge, but that's very uncommon and would have been put down by now if it was going to happen. Yeah, just going to check that natural, head into the main. Might do some nice stuff with the probe harass, but I doubt it. Yeah, he's not going to be annoying. Because as Bombspawn will warn you, if you do probe harass, maybe you end up losing your probe to one drone because it got stuck on a mineral patch because of your own incompetence. Like in chess, the king eventually comes out to play. Well, yeah, but the king is like the worst piece in the game. I mean, it's not as bad as the pawn, to be fair to it. It can move backwards, but it's not great. I guess it can move sideways too. The pawn can't do that unless it's taking another pawn or another piece. So that's fair enough. Anyway, enough about chess. I can't play that game. This is the game I'd play. Probe going to be checking for that third base timing. Probably a good idea, but equally, I think I'd rather be checking the main, because if you're looking at the third base, there's a good chance you'll miss it if the Zerg tries to send lings across the map too quickly. So you could end up getting your gateway unpowered when you don't want it to happen. So yeah, Stargate opening, and we'll see if Hound scouts this, because what you're supposed to do with the Overlord is to... no, it was 2001, was it? My apologies. What you're supposed to do with the Overlord is once you see the second unit pop out of the gateway, you send the Overlord into the main to check what they're making. Oh, actually, this Adept is going to shade into the natural and get some drones killed, so that's going to be good damage. Let's see what Hound can do to stop it. Okay, the Adept is going to die for just 2 probes. I'm not sure about that. So, anyway, the Stargate is going to finish, and it's going to go completely unscouted because the Overlord isn't moving. Gonna be a Phoenix, though. See, I'm not so certain on that. I like to go Oracle first if there's no scout. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't play TOS that much, but I think if the Zerg doesn't scout it, you may as well go Oracle. Because if they go blind spores at 350, then they'll not finish in time to stop the Oracle, because that's got to finish like 330, whenever it is. So you can get some good damage done with the opening Oracle. And then you get the Phoenix, then you get the second Oracle, and, you know, good stuff. Oracle is going to pop out, but he already knows, and there's already spores on the way. So, what can you do? When you get supply blocked as the second Oracle tries to finish, so that's unideal. But I don't think the second Oracle is that big of a deal in ZvP as it looks, I guess you could say. Because like it looks like oh yeah, they pick up the queen and then they do a bunch of damage with it. But that's really difficult micro to do. Like, I think it only applies at the pro level. Because people like Stats and Classic, they can do it. You and me, no way. I tried it, it's impossible. 3 probes. So is it 3? 3 drones should go down, but only just 2. Oracle got a cold feet near the end there, which is fair enough. Is that a 3rd Oracle? This is some... I swear there was a build order of the week on this. Stats did it against Zerg one time. I can't think of why you'd want a 3rd Oracle. I guess for stasis? Or maybe because you expect to lose one because you're going kind of gung-ho. So you get a 3rd one, so you still have 2, even after you lose one. It's fair enough. The pylon at the 3rd base is coming down a little bit too late, but the Oracles will defend it against any lane counter. Which, what do you know? Oh, never mind. The Oracles are on their smoke break, I guess. That could result in a dead 3rd base if he's not quick. I think it'll survive. Yeah, he's there in time. Ooh, wait, oh, Jesus, that's close, isn't it? Too close for comfort, but he just barely keeps it alive. If that had been a few more lings, that would have been a dead 3rd base. And if he just responded a little bit too late, really fine margins there. And yeah, it's going to be probably at least good old Archon drop. Yeah, no, never mind, that's a Forge. I guess I'm blind. So no, it's going to be something else. Maybe a charge all in? But he's already got the 3rd base, so I'm not certain. He's only going for the 1 Forge a lot sooner than usual, so it could be a timing attack. But again, no Archons. So it would need to be some kind of Immortal Zealot based one. Which I don't think is that good. Maybe I'm wrong, but Immortal Zealot past Marjorie timing is just a bit weak. Because Zerg has everything you need to deal with it. I do want to say that this harass from cruelrichard is fantastic. Like, he's killed how many? 9 drones already, and he's 14 ahead. So his worker production behind this has been top notch as well. Like, just in general, cruelrichard is playing this game really, really well. I am a bit confused though on what he's gonna get in terms of army, because obviously he's not getting Storm, he's not getting Archons. He's getting a lot of sentries though, which will be very useful in defending against this. Oh no, the Oracle's going to see it. Okay, that could have been a lot worse for Hounds than it actually is, because those Oracles could have started firing immediately. And the force fields are a bit wasteful. They're not making a full wall. Actually, that's great Baneling connections. So he won't do any damage, but that's a lot more than I was expecting him to get done. Like, he's actually killed a few sentries, which, if it's a sentry-based push, that could be pretty big in the grand scheme of things. A couple of Immortals are being a bit lazy there, and he got called in because of a F2, I believe. And yeah, going to be a War Prism coming out after 2 Immortals. That's not all that uncommon. Looks like it is going to be a Sentry, Ling Bane... Oh, sorry, Sentry Charge Lot Immortal push. Which is a bit weird. I think he did forget the Templar Archives, because he's building it now. 4 more gateways going down. And +1, is that what you usually get? Is it usually +1, or is it usually +1 armor? I think it is +1 weapons, because you get the whole Zealot thing. Critical upgrade with the Zerglings, but that doesn't really matter once you get charged, because it does 8 damage right off the bat. So, maybe I'm stupid. Yeah, should see Storm starting any moments. Oh, sorry?
You know, we've actually got 4 more gateways coming down for Cruel. So I'm kind of torn. I'm not sure if he's trying to go for a Charge Water Mortal all in, or if he is going to play a macro game with that Archives coming down as well. But I do think we're going to see some aggression out of it, at the very least, very soon.
Well, to be fair, it's only going to take him up to 9 gateways, and he's got 3 base saturation with the 4th on the way. And at that point, really, you want something like 12 gateways. If we look at what he's floating, it's like 1k, 2k. It's a lot of minerals and gas to float. So he does want a lot more gateways just to spend all of his bank. So I'm not sure it's the sign of all-in. Maybe it's a sign of someone trying to spend their minerals. Yeah, that Storm's going to be a long way off. So this attack from Hound should come in before it's finished, and that could be quite an interesting situation for Hound. How many force fields are there? Only 2 sentries, so max 8. And there's actually maximum 7? I want to say 7. No, it's less than 7. Maximum some number that is below 6. And yep, 5th base, sorry, going down for Hound. Okay, this is where the force fields could be helpful, even though there aren't that many of them. You don't want to push up that ramp into force fields and storm. That's a death wish, really. But he has got to get something done before storm's done. Otherwise, there'll be too many storms to really do anything with his army. Good tag. Oh, that's good hits with the Banes. Very good hits with the Banes. Nice force fields to actually box those units in. That's very nicely done with the force fields and the storms. Very, very nicely done. But still, I think it's a good trade for Hound. Because he's not actually lost that many units in return for all the damage he did. But he's got a lot of the important tech units, and now that he's got enough gateways, like 9 gateways, he can reproduce. Ideally, I want to see more gateways, even than 9, because he's got... I guess he's not the 4th base anymore, but he would have done. He's going for carriers, which... I don't like carriers. Like, sure, they're really good if your opponent's completely unprepared for them, but if your opponent knows they're coming, infestors, and they're gone. Just gone. So I'm unconvinced when it comes to carriers. Especially in low numbers. It'll also make his supply look a bit deceiving. Because for quite a time he's going to have, what is that, 18, 28, 26 supply that's not actually on the field. Because of that mothership as well. So this could be an opportunity for Hound, even though it doesn't look that good for him. He's actually got a lot more army supply. Has got to move before those carriers are done yet. So he's on a timer, but he doesn't know it. Which is the worst timer to be on. Okay, waste the storm, that's nice. It's a lot of shield batteries though. If he can just kind of... Okay, those are good force fields. You can't engage that, just pull away. Try and engage later once there are a few force fields. Now he's just trying to ram his head into the wall. He knows about the carriers now, which isn't too bad because he's got a spire. He had a spire building, and another good storm. Yeah, this is getting really out of hand now. 5 corruptors on the way. He's making too many links. This is... I've seen him do this a lot. He makes a lot too many links. Like, look at this! You don't need that many links when you go in Roach Hydra. And Roach Hydra Ling Bane is... Well, it's not used for a reason. You haven't got the gas for that many gas-based units. And really, they don't synergize that well either. Because the Roaches just get in the way. Yeah. I don't think Infestors is the answer yet. Like, there's not enough enough anti-air to make Infestors needed. You can just deal with these carriers with Corruptors and deal with the rest with ground army. But I'm not sure that's the right ground army. That's just Lings. Which, to be fair, there aren't that many Archons and Zealots, but there are enough. Stop making Lings! You have gas! If that had been Roaches instead of Lings, he could have a shot at holding this. I don't think he's got a shot at holding this now. Because, like, if he had Roaches, he might have had a chance. It would have been close. I still would have been confident, but... Now it's Lings. I mean, he's fortunate. Cruel Richard isn't going to try and push in, but if he just waits for Cruel Richard to get a bunch of carriers and doesn't get Infestors, he's going to be in big trouble. And even if he does get Infestors, they're very difficult to control compared to carriers. Okay, the best case scenario is these Zealots kill some Lings for him, which they're not actually doing. Maybe a few too many Zealots. In fact, he's got no Zealots in his army. So if those Corruptors are actually going to be able to do a lot of damage, because there's 1 Archon for anti-air and some sentries. That's not an army. That's... Well, it's not an anti-air army at the very least. 4 Archons are being made, so Hound has his window. But he's not seizing it. He's not jumping on that army with his Corruptors. Because he's got... This is the thing. He F2s. I'm almost certain of it. I can't see his hotkey, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't F2. He's got it completely unbound. He's never pressed it in his life. But I'm pretty goddamn certain he F2s. because he could be doing so many things with different parts of his army. Like in the previous game against Roadhog, he could have had his mutas just attacking the the siege tanks instead of bouncing back between natural and Vikings. But he just kept giving the mutas an order, having them, and then selecting them as part of the F2, and dies, and mutas die. I'm not talking about Cruel Richard. I'm talking about Hound. I'm talking about Hound's. Hound's F is the one that F2s, because these corruptors, they could be doing so much more, but every time he F2s, they cancel their previous orders, and yeah, at this point it's too late for anything to make a difference, because that's so many Archons, that's so many carriers, not many Storms left, so maybe he could take an advantageous fight, but at this point, look at the banks. Well, Buddy has a saying, Magna. It's very easy to spend money when you haven't got any. I think that's the case here. He's really just not got any money, because every single time he tries to get an army out, it dies. Like, if you look at the losses tab, it's almost double. Like, Cruel Richard's lost half of what Hound has lost. It's really well played by Cruel Richard, gotta say. And unfortunately, quite a few mistakes have been made by Hound here. GG. All played. Now, make no mistake, F2. F2 is what screwed over Hound the most there, I think. And it's what screwed over Hound the most in the previous game, to be fair. Because he has his Corruptors on the same hotkey as the rest of his army, so whenever he gives his army an order to retreat, the Corruptors retreat as well, even though they could have actually been getting on top of those carriers and dealing a lot of damage. So, yeah, it's unfortunate.